All right. Welcome, everyone. And I'm going to introduce both of them, and then we're going to get started. Armando Minjarez is a Mexican interdisciplinary artist, designer, and community organizer. His practice is guided by themes of displacement, collaboration, and empowerment to create platforms for social change, creative expression, and liberation for racialized communities. In 2018, Armando curated and directed the Horizontes Project, an artist-driven community engagement art project that worked to connect the Latino North End and African-American Northeast neighborhoods of North Wichita. They are bisected by large grain elevators along the industrial corridor. The project included 21 murals, hiring 32 artists, 84% of which were artists of color. The Horizontes Project was a 2017 Night Cities Challenge winner. Armando has also been awarded grants by the Puffin Foundation, the Wichita Cultural Funding Committee, and the Kansas Humanities Council. He's exhibited nationally and internationally and serves on Wichita's Design Council and on the board of directors for Harvester Arts. Currently, Armando is focusing most of his time in expanding his Del Norte ceramics line and working on public art commissions in his Wichita studio. You guys can come down front. There's lots of seats down here. Nathalia Gallego Sanchez, also known as Gleo, is a street artist and muralist from Cali, Colombia. She began experimenting with street art at 17 to brighten up her own neighborhood. Her murals with flowers and portraits adorn the streets in numerous countries around the world, including Morocco, Turkey, Mexico, Sweden, Spain, Portugal, the Netherlands, Ecuador, Brazil, Canada, and the United States. In 2018, she participated in the Horizontes Project and painted El Sueño, the original dream, on the Beechner grain elevator in Wichita, Kansas, which broke the record for the largest acrylic mural by a single artist at the time at 50,000 square feet. In 2022, she was invited by the renowned Mauritshuis Museum in The Hague to reinterpret one of the museum's masterpieces through a mural in celebration of its 200th anniversary. Over the course of 21 days, Gleo painted Flower Woman in the Window, inspired by Ambrosius Bosert's work, Vase of Flowers in a Window. This mural stands as one of the largest in the Netherlands. So Armando and I developed the proposal to bring Gleo to paint the mural in the Dirksen Amphitheater a couple of years ago when he worked here in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. We wanted to activate the amphitheater while also connecting the Horizontes Project with the university's efforts of becoming a HSI, Hispanic Serving Institution. I want to thank President Rick Muma and Vice President Shelley Coleman Martins for supporting this work, Sarah Mata with the Office of Hispanic Initiative, Mary Nelson with Special Collections, Gabe Fonseca and the Student Government Association, Cariana, Andres, Izzy, Carla, and all the great students with Halo. I think some of them are here tonight. They've been just really incredible to work with. Yes. Emily Patterson and Easton Breyer with facilities, and Ray Clitheroe, who runs the amphitheater. This has been a campus-wide effort to bring Gleo to campus to paint this mural. Please follow along on all of our socials and in person. Gleo will be out there painting for the rest of the month. And come out this Sunday for Open Streets. We are launching our first Urban Canvas Art Market. We will have artists from the Urban Canvas exhibition. They'll be featured in that market. And then I believe 45 additional artists. We have a total of 52 artists signed up for this market. Big thanks to Kylie Brown for helping organize that. So please come to that. It's 12 to 4 this Sunday. Also, we will have tote bags available to students free with ID while supplies last. Do you have yours there? Where is that tote bag? There's a tote bag. So you can have one of these tote bags for free with your student ID. And then we'll also have prints by Tornado Alley Press available to all while supplies last. Then next week, a week from today, April 18th, there's a panel discussion on mural making in Wichita with Armando and several regional muralists. And I really just couldn't be more proud to introduce Armando Minjarez and Nathalia Gallego tonight. Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Bueno, listos para empezar? Ready to start? All right. Well, thank everyone for joining us tonight. We're going to be doing this in English and Spanish and Spanglish, and some things might get lost in translation too. And hey, that's okay. Okay. Well, so we were asked to have a conversation about working collectively and in collaboration. So yeah, we're just gonna have a conversation about our own experiences and in collaborating and working with all kinds of different people and reflections, right, that we've had from that time. Yeah. The images that we're gonna be showing really are to kind of help the conversation move along, and maybe there's some teachings that we learned. So this is one that really we're just going to start with this idea of duality, right? There's two people. In this case, me and Nathalia, when I found her on Instagram and was looking for somebody who could paint large scale and that was from Latin America and ideally a woman. And I found Nathalia, and I just sent her a DM and then an email. And then we had a Skype call because this is before Zoom. And it was, you know, from the first meeting we had, I felt very strongly. I felt like we had a good connection and that our, I don't know, ideologies match. But what was your experience when you heard about this crazy project?
Oh. What do you think?
Yeah, sí, sorry.
O sea, me he preguntado mucho, like, always I make the screen for me, like, sorry for my English now. The first time. Thank you for the time and for the passion for my English. And thank you for coming here the first time. When I have this invitation, for me, is very special because in this gremium from the mural is very strong for men. So when you are a woman in this situation, you need to be strong and learn a lot about this. And when more big is the world, normally it's like the more pride for a man, but it's the less opportunity for a woman. So when I start painting walls, I'm looking for this goal in my young period of my life for this motivation. And when Armando called me, it's like feeling this strong connection, you know, like, yes, we can make it. He say, we can make it. I say, yes, we can make it. And we for sure, like, really see the really strong idea come true reality. No?
Sí.
Mm-hmm.
It was like finding it's so weird because really a lot of it for me, I tend to really go off, and it sounds kind of woo-woo, but what kind of energy I'm getting from people, right? Are we vibing? Is there a good match? And I definitely felt that when we met online. Mind you, I'm hiring someone to paint this massive mural that I've actually never met in person or worked for. So that communication really is the only thing I had to go, based on, and it felt right. And I guess that's to say that when we, that's to say that when we work in collaboratively, there's a lot of emotion and feeling that goes into it. You're building a relationship with somebody or with the team or with your crew, and you have to really, your vibes have to vibe, right? They have to like be on the same vibration. But a lot of really cool things come out of that. This is an image, these two images, is really, to me, that the lesson from this is the different ripples of collaboration. We were talking about this last night, and just to kind of give context to this, and you can tell us more about that's your story with Chris. Chris is someone who grew up in Northeast Wichita. He was featured by one of the photographers that we hired for the photo part of the project. And then Nathalia got both photos along with all the other research we had. She ended up picking up Chris as one of the subjects for the mural. And then as time passed, his mom realized that he was being painted on the mural. So then she pulled up to the grain elevator. I think she maybe knew Pat. I think that's how she found out. But somehow she realized that her son was on the mural. She pulled up to the site, introduced herself, and she just wanted to meet the artist and express her gratitude with us for it. And so we got to capture some images of Nathalia painting Chris while his mom was there, taking a picture. And there was this beautiful kind of connection that happened with what I call the ripples of community and community engagement. It's that there's layers, right? Whenever you're working when you engage people in a meaningful way. But there's a really cool story with Chris and Nathalia.
Yeah, but I with the time I understand the words is don't care how or what is pain in the wall. Is the care is how this painting, make reconciliation with the person in the space. In this case, very special because it's very between Christopher and your portrait in the big wall, and your mom find this history. Christopher gave me a card. In this card, he said, "Thank you for seeing the beauty in me." And when he said this, I never thinking about it. No, we are only like two instrumentals.
They were instruments.
Yeah, for make this, I don't know, transformation, emotional transformation. You never know how you're working in this place. But the place has your history, the place has your energy. For example, like Vicky,
Vicky is my mom.
And the other Vicky too.
And the other Vicky, oh my God, the Vicky.
This is a big
The Vicky.
Because the Vicky, the big woman in the center with the flowers, yellow, it's not here, but when you see the silence, you can see the center. She has the hand with the other woman. The name is she is Vicky, but we know Vicky in the first time when I arrived, he made like one welcome with the community, and Vicky is there.
Yeah, we were just sitting on the chairs. There was like a little shindig going on at Nomar, and we were sitting down, and either we sat next to her or she sat next to us. I can't remember quite what it was, but we were next to each other.
Yeah, we speak about the life, and she shared your life and your history from a long time in this place with your family, And it's very like, oh my God, nice. Tell me more, please. She speaks a lot. She is the first person breaks food for the world, because the world is very support about the community come from the food, from healthy care, for support emotional. And Vicky is the first person come with the food.
Which is important.
Yeah. Yeah, and later, very later, like we finish the paint. Oh, I am go. Maybe I am go and come back and go. And then one day in this she see the one image of your costume. ¿Cómo es la historia?
Yeah, I puedo decir la historia.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No, it was really cool because it's a synchronicity again and the ripples of the connectivity, right? Like here we are sitting in Nomar with this random woman we just met, and she learns about the mural, then brings us with the first one to bring food. We finish the mural. It's, I don't know, like a year and a half later, I get a call from her, and she says, "Hey, I just learned that I'm the one in the mural." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I'm like in the mural." I'm like, "Cool. Which one are you?" Because the photo reference that we use for Miss Wichita, which is what we call her, and the other girl with the split head, that photo, we could never figure out who those people were. The restaurant is La Chatas. It's a restaurant that used to be on Broadway, just north of 21st, I believe. And so that was written in the back. So we knew the location, we knew the geography, but we didn't know the people. So I get this call, this random call from Vicky a year and a half later that she realizes is her, right? Like over a year after. She tells her friend, like, that kind of looks like me, but, I don't want to be, self-centered and think that she looks like me. She's like, well, she really looks like me.
Yeah.
And her friend told her, is you, like that is you. And then they pulled up the video where it shows the reference photo. And then she told us that was her cousin and that was the family restaurant. And they would go there and dance. And they're actually sitting in front of Rocola, what's it called? A record player. And and it was really cool because then she got to tell us like, yeah, like that's where we used to go all the time. And my cousin and I would dance. And then that photo, they're holding hands because they're about to dance. So it was just a beautiful story. The fact that we met her before we started. She's the first one to bring food. She kept bringing food, and it was just someone who grew up in the neighborhood, knew a lot about it, and turns out that she's like the main character. It was just so amazing to find that out.
Yeah, and you understand your place like artists, because we are artists. So it's your place, the productor, like the creation, my place, like the creation, painter. It's only listen the play, listen the every history, like you give here the very person sensitive. And in this moment start the collaboration because you listen the other one, no, and the other one listen you. No, I think this is the more important.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we have been doing since you arrived, right? Halo students have been engaged with us for a few months now, but, she went to a Halo meeting, got to meet all the students that were present. You had some experiences with them. You learned some things about them. We went to their Si Se Puede Day yesterday, got to meet even more students and the prospective students that came in. And, to be able to have that connection to the community that you're supposed to be working with, it's so important. And any work that is collaborative, at least from our perspective, right? And talking about that relationship, where it starts, right? This is an image. I got the image with the things. Harnesses, thank you. So this image is really funny because if you look at the hooks of the harnesses, there's little pieces of tape on the hooks, different colors of tape. There's like a black one and a blue one and a red one. And this is just one example of how collaboration touches every part of a project, from the most banal of details, right? Like there's 5 different people that are using harnesses, and you have 6 harnesses. And like the first week, you have people putting on a harness and adjusting it to their size, and then you come the next day and maybe somebody already grabbed your harness. But then there's like this, this wrinkle in your process that is making every morning a difficult thing to get started. And these guys had to figure out really quickly a system for them to just make that morning setup process much faster and efficient. And it was a simple solution of let's just color code it so that we know which one is which, and we just show up, pick your harness, and get ready to go. It's such a minuscule little thing, but it's such an important part of collaboration, is that communication and problem solving, right? We're constantly having to problem solve together, right? There's the flexibility that you need, and sometimes, it's not a smooth ride, but you have to go through it. You have to figure out those moves, like what's gonna happen, right? So what is your experience? What are some lessons, I guess? ¿Cuáles son algunas lecciones que has aprendido en cuanto a la comunicación dentro de una colaboración? Right? What are the lessons about communication within a collaboration?
Wow. Huh. I think the more big lesson, because this is the more biggest we are painting, or I am painting, but I painting other figures, and I think the more important is el cuidado. I don't know if say in English, the care, because we, ¿cómo se diría subestimar?
We underestimate.
What?
Underestimate.
The care.
Right, we underestimate care for each other, right?
Yeah, because when you make the collaboration, the big nature is like you want the very good communication. For example, in this place, I don't speak English. You are lucky, and I'm lucky because I can make communication in this moment with you, and you take care with my passion with my work. No, it's like it happened now, but in this moment I don't have this source for me. It's just that I have this son. I have 3 persons speak with me in Spanish, but the next level is like all is in English. But always we take care everyone. We don't speak, but we understand how to take care. And when we don't understand, we need to figure out, because we understand, we push one situation very, very dangerous. It's not only the very big, glorious model. No, it's life. And in this moment, when you're thinking about this, you're thinking everyone have a mom, one come back to your house. For example, Miss Pat. Miss Pat is the one from Quanti, is the one of the assistant, and Miss Pat is go every day and take care for us. That's Pat. Yeah. And thank you for that, because we are very young and it's like, we can do it, but we learn about the care in this moment, because we subestimate.
Yeah. Underestimate.
Yeah. But learn a lot across this, because we take care of everyone. And I think not only in this moment, también, no sé cómo, sorry, it's también now. For this reason I am here, because I am come back, and every time I can do it. We stay together every time we can do it. No, the life is hard and we can go very, very apart. But we learn in this situation, in this moment, how to take care between us. And this is nice, because it's special.
Yeah. So Miss Pat, she was here for the reception, but I don't think is she in here? Where's she at?
Miss Pat.
Miss Pat, you're hiding over there. I can't see you, Pat. Yeah, Pat. The first few weeks, I didn't know her initially. She would just pull up in her giant car, and it was like a Cadillac or something, and she would just sit there and like stare. She would just be staring at us and looking and watching us paint, but she wouldn't say a word. She would just sit there, And she would do that, almost every day until eventually we're like, hey, who are you? And why are you just like looking at us for hours? And that's when we learned that, she was Quintus's mom. And she really did bring a motherly presence to our space. Not to put a lot on you, Pat, but you did. Because we were a little bit crazy with everything that was happening, and we were trying to take care of one another, and we're trying to do our best, but it was really hard a lot of different times, and just to have a grounding presence, that her just being there really made a huge difference on our day every time she was there. So again, there's so many ways that the people can show up to build community, and sometimes just that presence and that support is enough and very necessary, right? They ended up developing a great rapport, Nathalia and Miss Pat, and then Miss Pat's on the mural now. How cool. I want to talk a little bit more about the ripples of collaboration, right? So just to talk about these layers, by the time I, talked to Nathalia and offer her the job, the project, a lot of work had already been done, right? And it's like there was so much work previous to that, for instance, with the Kansas African American Museum, TCAM, with Kristen. Well, we were teaching a different section of a class, and her community arts engagement class came to TCAM and helped us do research and go through the archives. But part of that, a good collaboration is understanding what you're bringing to the table and what you're gonna get from it, right? Being very clear about that exchange. It sounds a little cold, but I think it's really important for those things to be clear from the get-go. We knew that TCAN have the archives that we needed. They were really open to letting us just show up with a bunch of students, and so generous to let us go through the archives. Again, Kristen, we're like, this is a great opportunity for the students to go to a cultural space, to learn about, all these different cultural spaces in Wichita, get some understanding research. And then that led to the students helping out with the Grand Elevator itself, with Melanin Fest, another festival that we organized, with Dunbar Theater. They got to help us put together the exhibition of Shift Space. They got to help us with the big event we did at the library. And then ultimately, that led to having an exhibition for Horizontes, the color line, at TCAM in January 2019. And for the opening of that exhibition, where we exhibited all the work, the research, the photographs from the photographers, neighborhood data, and all the clothes, the painting clothes that you see in the gallery right now in the exhibition, those are part of the collection at the Kansas African American Museum. We donated all those pieces, so they're on loan right now to the Ulrich, which is so cool that we can have that kind of a thing. But anyway, they ended up with over 300 people showing up to the opening reception for the color line. And that is because they were quite literally, the community was in that exhibition. They were in that exhibition through the interviews we did, through the photographs we took, through their involvement and volunteering, by sharing their stories, by filling out the surveys, by going to our workshops. And all of that culminated in over 300 people showing up to an evening, right? And TCAM had not seen those numbers in who knows how many years. And now they're getting ready to move to a new location. They're expanding. They've been just doing such great work. And it's just so amazing to see how, we knew that this collaboration with TCAM and with this class, with the students, was gonna result in something really good. We didn't quite know what it was gonna be, right? But it's having that extra push, right? But also knowing what they were gonna get from it and what we needed from it was so important for us to, for me anyway, to in any kind of collaboration. I don't know how you feel about that, sort of like de que tú tienes que saber cuál es tu parte en la colaboración también, qué es lo que hace, qué es lo que vas a percibir, cómo manejas eso.
I think I don't manage this.
Oh.
Because,
En español.
yeah, no, porque no. Huh. A good question. Yeah, when you're thinking about it. I am a versatile person, and I think when en español, cuando hay una colaboración, cuido mucho como que todo logre como estar bien para todos.
When I'm in a collaboration, I really try to make sure that everything is working out for the people, anyone involved.
Pero también es como muy fuerte porque puedes dejar de cuidarte por entregar mucho.
But it can be also be difficult because as you're making sure that you're taking care of everyone else, you stop taking care of yourself.
O ser egoísta por cuidarte para poder, ¿sabes?
Or you feel like you're being egotistical by taking care of yourself instead of taking care of everybody else.
It's between, because tienes que cuidarte primero, ¿sabes? Tienes que tener como cuidar esta reserva de energía para poder compartirla y poder seguir como haciendo una sinergia con los otros.
Yeah. You have to really protect your energy throughout so that synergy can continue with the rest of the project.
Tomar la energía de los demás ni tampoco quedarte sin energía.
So you don't take other people's energy and emotions or be left empty without any of that.
Yeah. Entonces es como aprender a compartir, ¿no? Like really learn to share everything, because you need to share your day, you need to share your thinkings about how we make solution about this situation. You need like take it in every step, because we are human, and I am not only the emotional person there. Everyone is there, no? Like
We're all emotional too.
yeah, we are. No, we are say yes, we are emotional because we are in the society. Say no, we are strong. No, we are emotional. For this reason, we are strong. So I think this is the more important, because we are like como un grupo, como cada uno es una célula, y cuando nos juntamos somos un órgano.
It's like we each are a cell, and when we get together, we become an organism.
Yeah, you can be the good or the, like, I don't know, the strange one.
Yeah. Well, and in that, when you talk about being an individual cell and then becoming an organism, right? Like a one thing. I feel like personally, there has to be, and individually, there has to be a lot of flexibility. Tienes que ser muy flexible, ¿no?
And this is a learn. It's a learn the life.
Mm-hmm. Yes, constantly.
I'm working a lot because I have no flexibility in my life. There's nothing. He teach me a lot about it, and this is, I think, is very special in the collaboration, because if you don't learn something, you don't make collaboration. No, because it's in the moment when you have the gift. No?
Yeah.
The big learn is have the gift.
Well, there has to be transparency. I think tiene que haber transparencia, ¿no?
Yeah.
Because often I feel like when there's conflict, there's always going to be conflict. You can't avoid it. But sometimes conflict can happen when when the communication is not transparent, right? And things show up as a surprise, something unexpected that was never mentioned or a part of the conversation. And unfortunately, that happens a lot. And working with other people in projects is that information is held back and I believe in kind of having full transparency on all levels, right? Like you said, we are emotional people. And like I told everyone that worked with us in the Green Elevator mural and beyond, it's like if you went out last night and got drunk and you woke up hungover, like just tell me that. Just tell me that you're hungover, and then like we'll get you coffee, we'll get you cigarettes, maybe, you know, some McDonald's, and you can take an hour to like hang out in the sun and like deal with your situation. But like let us know, because we're dependent on you. Right? Like, don't make it a habit, obviously. Like, you have to, like, kind of have those boundaries, but be honest about it, right? It's when the honesty is, the transparency is not there, that's when things can kind of start shaking. And that honesty, that transparency, I believe, builds trust, right? So that you can, because also we all have a lot of issues, right? In our heads and other places. And there's some days that are just tough. And it's like, it's okay, right? Like, we can take care of one another, and if we can't work today, like, let's go and like eat a burger and lay on grass, because that's like what we need at this moment. And like, that's okay. So there's that flexibility and transparency. Yeah, I'm thinking about that photo, and so there was a moment, right, in talking about that flexibility. You know, at the beginning, there's like, make sure they're not spilling any paint anywhere. And there's like the designated location where you have to like empty your dirty buckets, and they have to be stacked in this side, and this is the area for this, and this is the area for that. And like, especially when working at that scale, like there were so many things so many plates in the air that you had to keep, you know, like turning, and like dumping the paint on that giant concrete slab was no longer a priority. Like, I had to say, you know what, fuck it. Like, that's, you want to dump the paint there? I don't care. Like, do it. Like, I'm going to go and like figure out the bigger issue when the machine is broken down. So like, I had to release a lot of my own like tendency to, I guess, be controlling about a lot of things, and just let it be. Like, paint on the ground is not an issue right now, right? So there was like that release. Like, we just like, it is an issue, but also it's not an issue that like I need to worry about right now.
You're playing a lot, but let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah, because you chat with people, and everyone is different. You know, we can thinking of some igual about some issues, but we are different. Just it's like, you eat different, you sleep different. We need make like the good place for everyone, because si no, no sería inclusive.
Right. Otherwise, it won't be inclusive. Right. That's a part of it.
And we don't know how it's this.
I know.
So this is like, it's like construyendo el camino.
Yeah, we're building the road together. Yeah, and I just want to, I know that there's just so many people that are a part of the project. And like Daniel, who was helping us do this animation, you know, we have these crazy ideas. Oh, let's make an animated video of how this whole division that never had happened. And it's like, okay, who can paint, who can illustrate, who can do videos? And I'm Kylie. How do we make this happen? We need someone that can edit videos. We need someone that can draw. And to me, that's a really exciting thing when we're like trying to figure out a project and find all the right people for it. But you never know who's going to be a part of it. I just want to give a shout out to Chris. Chris, you were in one of the slides, but didn't make it. Sorry. But Chris, it's the paint rep from Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah.
And
please, because for him, we can start.
Right. But again, he's not just the paint rep from Sherwin-Williams. I mean, Chris is someone who became our friend. Not because of the paint, but because of the love that he showed us every time throughout the whole mural production, right? Like, giving us encouragement. Chris is like eternally cheerful And there were days that we really needed Chris's energy and cheering. And like he would bring us treats and food and cool art books. And
Everywhere.
yes, and had the best stories about concerts. So again, Chris was more than just like the paint rep, right? He became a regular on the mural and became part of this larger collaboration. And it was because of the openness, I think, that we had. We also could have ignored Chris. We could have treated him like the paint guy and nothing else. And that happens a lot. I mean, it's funny, but it's also like, it's a thing that happens, right? That we don't see the full value that people bring beyond the immediate thing that you need from them. Yeah. Do you have a fun story about Chris? Chris was, do you guys know La Tropicana restaurant? Yeah, okay. So Chris he learned that La Tropicana was like our favorite place. So then we had a Chris day every week where he would bring us Tropicana, and it was, oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, we have infinite stories about people in the community showing up. And again, lifelong relationships, right, that we built.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the 4th time you're in town.
Yeah. Really first time or thank you.
And every time you're in town,
Oh.
there's like 30 people that show up to the house to welcome you. And
It's the family.
and we look at everyone and it's like every single person has like these really strong connections and memories, right? They're not just like, oh, I want to be next to Gleo. It's like, no, all those people have had like this very impactful presence.
Yeah. But I think we can make it because we had the support. And the support is from everyone is close, but I think it's very important, like make the mention here, that your friends, I think it's my friends, my family, like Mason, like Veronica, like Carlos, like Kylie, Ellie, Arieta, and everyone, Keegan, is present there, It's like really present. And they say like, how you doing? You need shoes or something? It's that everyone come here and make this support. And I think this is very important because we are around there. We can make it. I think we can make it. It's like really, really, because it's very hard place. And it's very hard work. And it's very hard to survive. And it's the wind of the cancer, The wind. So, and it's the winter, But everything is going very, very far because everyone go there and support in your form, Like how like Armando say, in your presence, su presencia is very important there. And I think for the reason is what you feeling this important in the world, Because the world have this feeling. El muro fue construido a través de todas esas emociones.
Yeah, the mural was built through all those emotions. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard that, but yeah.
So thank you for everyone.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing. Right? Like all the little gifts people brought. Like I still have them like a prize object. When we first started scraping the paint off the grain elevator, that was like a lot of different troubleshooting that we had to go through. And Mike showed up with like the best tool that he created. It's like he grabbed these like scrapers and put them in like a flexible tube that was inside another tube, so that like as you were scraping, like they had the perfect like bend to like not get tired and to like get the scrape. It was like, how do you come up with this shit, Mike? This is genius. And like I still have a couple of them stored, like a little like trophy, little treasure. It's just amazing to see all the gifts that people are able to share and bring into these projects.
Yeah.
Everyone support how can be support, Make the better yourself. Hizo lo mejor que pudo hacer en su momento.
Yeah, everybody tried their best at the time.
And I think this is community. Uno is the description from Google, so it is too much about this. So for this reason, I think when the people make the question, what is the word? Can you say is really make impact or make something about the community? I say Wichita, always, because have a lot of stories you can listen in this hour, and we can stay more time here. And I speak about, but it's really you feel how is the community and how the community can construir un camino junto.
Right, how the community can build a road together. Yeah.
So thank you, Armando.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, that was a perfect segue. Thank you. I think we have time for maybe a couple of questions. Up there?
Talk a little bit about your current project and have the ideas for the mural and the amphitheater.
Sure. Yeah. So like Kristen mentioned briefly at the beginning, right, this started almost 3 years ago when I was still working here on campus at ODI. Rick Muma saw a mural and on a campus, on a parking garage, and some other university. He was like, hey, we should do something on the parking garage here. And I kept saying that every time I would see him at an event, which was often, he would like bring it up, right? And he would bring it up to Kristen as well. So then it was like, okay, we have to do something about this. So we started working on it. And one of the reason we ended up at the Dirksen Amphitheater is because most of the university is brick buildings, and there's some really great spots, big open walls where we could paint, but they just don't want us to paint over the brick for all kinds of different reasons. So the Dirksen Amphitheater, it's already a painted surface. It's pretty big. They were already had some renovations that were going to happen on it through some of the COVID relief money. So it was kind of like the perfect place to do it and add more to what was already going to happen there. And so that's how we got to that location. Rick really wanted the mural to focus on this HSI initiative that they were starting to talk about 3 years ago, maybe longer, I'm not sure. But that's how we built this whole engagement process to connect with the Latinx, Latina, Hispanic students on campus through all the different organizations. We have Belonging Plaza, which is a tool that also Kristen and I created years ago for students to highlight different people. And so that's been one of the tools that they've been using to pull up the research. We've been in communication with Sara Mata very closely just so that she knows what's going on with this mural and how our own efforts can overlap with the things that they already have going on. Reaching out to the faculty that it's of Hispanic or Latin American origin. So all of those pieces have been a part of it. But we've been saying that this is done in the spirit of Horizontes, and what that means for us is that Horizontes really, at the heart, was about solidarity, but also in understanding that those communities have been here in Wichita for a very long time, right? The narratives are that we just arrived, and that, oh God, how do we deal with these brown people that don't speak English? It's sort of like the narrative that you hear. We've been here for a long time, and that's no different here on campus. Right, there's faculty, staff, alumni that graduated over almost 100 years ago in the early days of the university. So it's really, if they're gonna continue to attempt to recruit more Hispanic and Latinx students, then the university needs to show that they've been here, right? That they're not gonna show up to a new place, right? Like, we have to challenge that narrative that we are new here, right? What's different is that now there's more opportunities and more efforts targeting us but we've been here all along. And at least on my end, and our end, that's what we want to highlight, that we have been here, right? And for students to know that. You know, it's one mural. You know, there's all the funding and policy that any higher ups in here that you got to do to make sure that you recruit more faculty, or that you recruit more staff to support the students that, right, the university is wanting to recruit. A mural that's not going to do it, right? Hopefully it'll start a conversation, but ultimately the university needs to put more money into hiring more staff and faculty that can support those students. Like, there's no way around that. Yeah. Other questions? Vivian? Well, I guess that's a question for you, really. ¿Cómo influencia? Sí, sí, sí. Bueno, el trabajo que hemos hecho hasta ahorita, ¿no? Con los estudiantes, y ahora que tú ya has conocido a varios, 2 o 3 ocasiones, ¿cómo ha influenciado los estudiantes, las historias que has conocido? ¿Cómo ha inspirado, pues, el diseño del mural?
Okay.
Sí.
Yesterday we come to, ¿cómo se llamaba este evento?
Sí se puede Day.
Yeah.
It was a recruiting event for high school Latinx students.
Yeah. Yesterday we stayed there, for example. And the last time I say, when you I made this situation like between the community and the world, you are the medium, you know? You have the sensations and only try make something about this, no? But you never know how it's coming. So yesterday in this event, I feel very happy for everyone in this event, because it's a lot of young people, very lot of young people, everyone for every community different, you know, people from Peru, people from Panama, people from family from Mexico, Nicaragua, you know, very big community, Latin American community. And they have dreams. I know this because I am this age in my time, you know? And I think it's very important when you have dreams in this time, you see reference about how you can do something about your life, because you dream in your life in this time, you know? And one moment the life is coming and you have this life. But you have this moment for make your decision. And sometimes the people don't say this for us. You say, yes, it's very important. You need to go to the studio and make big money, no? But no, it's really important because you make doing this all your life, and it's a very big decision. And in this moment, when I say this young person here, say, oh my God, it's nice, you know, because you can, I don't know, try show about the dream to come true, or how, I don't know, my experience with the students from ALO. It's very nice because they are many organization, you know, stick together, pass for the next generation, learn for yourself. I don't know, I feel in this meeting. And I think it's important you see this reference, you know, you see this person in your life. And I think this is the way for I avoid in the drought.
Yeah, she showed me some initials to signs, or a week ago or something like that. And she had some ideas that she already had in her head and was working through those. But then we had the meeting with Halo students, and she was like, "Oh my God." She met the students. I mean, I think you were surprised that there were like 7 different countries represented, right? So she was like, okay, that like new information. We gotta like scrap that, start anew. And then she started working on other mock-ups. And then yesterday we come to this event, and then there's like 300 students. And Oh, it's so many more nationalities, and again, there's what you described, right? That they're so young, they have so many dreams, and the energy there was just so cool, right? Like, and I mean, all the Halo students, shout out. That was like during the Halo meeting, and this is not related to the question, but I just have to say it out loud. The meeting that we attended, they were talking about elections for the next officers, right? And so each one of the current officers were describing their responsibilities and, you know, sort of what was expected of that position. But then they also shared about where they fell short and where they could have improved and like how they felt that they did. And, you know, they kind of that vulnerable moment where you say, you know what, this was my job and I didn't do the best job. So whoever's going to do it, make sure that you're aware of A, B, and C, because I wasn't good with that and it probably wasn't the best fit. And I'm like, what? Like I was learning those skills just like a few years ago, you know? So it was really, like, it just felt my heart to know that they're even much more ahead than we were at that time, you know, in my life. You know, I was an angry 19-year-old trying to pass immigration reform or whatever. Yeah, that hasn't happened. But anyway, I think we're out of time. Yeah, unless there's someone that wants to get out. One more question. Anybody has a question they really want to get out? Ellie.
I focused on take your lovely day. You guys play get what's on the set.
Oh,
Yeah, totally. In fact,
the next phase.
here, I'll faster this way. So that is the Grand Elevator grid, and it was the very first silo that was painted, right? And we call it it's an irregular grid. This is what is used to draw the design, right? So all of these, the wall, in this case, the silos are filled with all of these symbols. Some of it looks kind of like nonsense, which a lot of it is. And then you take a picture of that, take your design in your, you know, device, overlay your image, and that's how you transfer your drawing to freehand it. So this was the very first one, and like this literally the first marks you ever met in Wichita, right? Right there. Hello, Wichita, Horizontes, Gleo, Choras, which is Felipe, Latino Power, Mexico, and there's something else that we're not seeing at the bottom. USA and Kansas, I think. Can't remember.
I don't know.
But yeah, so that was Jenny Van, who made the design, took this image, traced it, and turned it into the design for the bag, which is super cool. And
Had a sticker.
we got stickers too. That's what the sticker is too. It's the same design. And then on Sunday for Open Streets, since all of you are gonna show up to Open Streets, Tornado Alley Press are gonna be a screen printing the same design on posters. So yeah, that's where the design comes from the grid. Yeah, that's the backbone of the mural right there. Cool. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. And yeah, thanks.